Welcome back to me, welcome back to you, welcome back to Dodo Modern Poets, our October Odes evening on a very rainy October night. It's dried up nicely now, far too late for people to set out to see us. Anyway, I'm going to start off reading some poems from my new collection, which is also available here tonight. It's called Looking for Eden. I'm off to Amsterdam next week for a few days holiday, so this is a poem. I was flying back from Amsterdam, a city I've got quite a lot of friends in, and there's a Dutch girl sitting next to me on the plane, and she offered me a biscuit. And so this is Biscuit Girl from Amsterdam. "Would you like a biscuit?" said the girl sitting next to me on the plane from Amsterdam. Her teeth so white I think she must eat only apples. I appreciatively take one, crunch away. They are like our English biscuit, the hobnob, I say. Her eyes widen, the hobnob? Those white teeth again, as she seriously digests this important information. "We call them country cookies," she says at last. Isn't that funny, I think? Hobnob sounds much Dutcher than country cookies. She is on her way to Nepal, where neither hobnobs nor country cookies can easily be found. Instead, she will digest the thrill of exploring fresh lands, a world experienced through young senses, opening like a giant lotus hobnob in any flavour you like. These troubled times, we all need our personal Robin Hood. So this is my personal Robin Hood. I carry my personal Robin Hood in my imagination, there to do good deeds. He robs from the rich, gives to the poor. But in this egalitarian, dressed-down Friday society, he can't always tell the difference. I've asked him to keep proper records. If a mistake occurs, we can make reparations. Marion is a lovely girl, wears flowers in her hair. She tries to keep him on the straight and narrow, tells him that green is a difficult colour for any man to wear. Robin is not convinced the poor want charity. They've got everything, he explains. Plasma screens, iPhones, wheelie bins. I have to admit he's right. The Robin Hood business is not what it was. I try to imagine what will happen if Robin gets caught. The crown versus a mythical figure from the 13th century. No jury in the land would convict. We all need our own personal Robin Hood to find a way through the wild, wild wood. Tickets for the Stones went on sale this morning. Did anyone manage to get a ticket?
Okay. 7 minutes it took to sell out, apparently.
Okay, I was going to say, if you bought one, see me afterwards if we get a good price.
Not interested.
But I'm going to read this poem anyway. It's our October Odes, and this is dedicated to a friend of mine called Ananda, who died 7 years ago this month. And he was a huge Rolling Stones fan. So his celebration of his life was held in the 100 Club, where the Stones have often done secret gigs before the start of a tour. Exile on Oxford Street. Where the feline form of Jagger once prowled these creaking boards, where the power chords of Keith left indentations on the walls, where Charlie kept the beat and was so often good tonight, we hold you in our hearts while the band rocks hard and tight. When the bitter chill of Oxford Street is replaced by love so warm, we know you will not mind wherever you're reborn. In the cellar of the 100 Club, or that peaceful, lovely park, where our blissful gang of 4 traversed one summer arc. And you found the magic mushrooms on that innocent market stall, and vowed that country walks for you were now a siren call. We hugged you tight in farewell as you left our little home. We said we'd meet in Paris before the year was gone. That will not happen for a while, delayed by a trick of fate. We'll catch up with you before too long. Dear Ananda, don't be late. I was in Guadalajara in Cuba a couple of years ago, and I went to the market, and there was a painter selling his work there, all painted on recycled materials such as lino offcuts. And I bought a painting for about 5 pesos, which is now hanging in my room, looking very beautiful. So I thought I should repay the painter with a poem. This is a video of the painter. It's all from my imagination, says this gently smiling man, showing his canvases, pastels on recycled paper, oils on lino offcuts. We see what he means. Elsewhere the painters duplicate 50s American cars, behatted guitar players, sultry ladies, palm-fringed beach scenes. I select a picture, oil on floor covering, a vulture with a female body, rich daubs of green and blue and burgundy, perched threateningly on a branch. Painstakingly he signs it bottom left, in the neat script of a master. For 5 pesos I have an original Ovidia penna penna, all from his imagination. I imagine him in his shack somewhere, crowded with paper, offcuts and paint, children, a wife and chickens, a dog scratching at his heel, endeavouring to find a space to create art. These butterflies abstracts, masks, expressions of the spirit of a people. If I close my eyes now, I am back in that market. I can see the painting spread out on a table, all the colours radiant, iridescent, under a Cuban palm-fringed sun. Those of you involved in the poetry world here tonight will have been to a few magazine launches, and this is what they're like. It's called A Night Out with the Poets. Starts in a very civilised fashion. It starts well enough. Hello's a tentative plight, a certain feeling of, is it worth it? The poets mingle warily, some huddle in corners, making scratchy revisions. The readings begin, a roundelay, polite applause, laughter, a matey heckle or two. The MC thanks everyone. Sighs of a relief escape like air. The real business begins. The poets reassemble into small groups. Drinking commences at a furious pace. The poems never had such value as the poets now. Absent poets damned, famous poets scorned. Heaney's just a journalist, Dylan Thomas is for schools. The barmaid calls time, the poets spill into the street, bawling now at the stars, smoking the foulest of weeds, snatching lyrics out of the firmament. The barmaid locks up, leaves the poets outside, swaying like posts in a typhoon. In the morning, the emptied glasses, warmed by the sun, will tell no tales. I'm going to finish with a poem about a dog. Before I read it, I'm going to talk for a moment or two about the Dandy comic. The Dandy comic I'm sure you all read growing up, and the sad news is that the Dandy comic is closing in December after 76 years. It's in the Guinness Book of Records for the longest published comic in history. In fact, this edition from 1999 is the issue which brought it into the Guinness Book of Records. And so when I was growing up, my favourite character in the Dandy comic was Black Bob. So here's the Dandy. I'm going to show you what Black Bob may look like. an artist's impression. Okay, can everyone see that? Yeah. Excellent, good. Well, this is Black Bob here, okay? This tiny figure here is Andrew, Black Bob's shepherd, and Black Bob and Andrew had these wonderful adventures preventing sheep rustling and rum smuggling and so on in the Highlands. And I'm not sure who this bitch here is. Not sure. Answers on a postcard. So, the first time I went to the Scottish Highlands, I found myself looking at the view before me, the brown hills, the green hills, the purple heathery stuff on top. I felt I'd been there before, although I knew I hadn't. Sense of deja vu. But as I looked across this scene, I realised what I was looking at was Black Bob country. This is Black Bob country. You can see him if you look hard. Out there, tail fierce against the wind, rounding his sheep, regarding Shepherd Andrew with real dog love. Black Bob, just a dog. Never one for the whiskey, though there are 150 to choose from in this neck of the woods. Never one for the whiskey, just fierce and brave and loyal. I could smell your sleek, damp, Atlantic swept coat right through the pages of the dandy. Black Bob, you put your nose to the wind, another adventure began. Here, Bob, 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 Bob,
There's obviously running his
This is why the neighbours want to reduce the licence.
I chased you through childhood, never caught up. You're wild and fierce, and just much nicer than Batman.